Hey guys, we are back in the world of Middle Earth for Middle Earth Monday, and in this video we're going to be tackling the last model that we need for the kind of Bree scenario, the last model from the Personalities of Bree set, and that is of course the infamous, the ever powerful Bill the Pony. There's no way that I was going to pass by that miniature and not paint him up for you guys, and I'm very excited to be doing it in today's videos. Hopefully you're excited to see that. Before I get into it though, as always, huge thank you to everyone that continues to watch this channel, the Old World channel, or my main channel. You guys are all heroes. If you didn't know, I do more than one channel. I do. Please go check them all out. Make sure you give them all likes and give them all subscribes and all that kind of jazz. It really does mean the world to me. And every now there goes the extra mile supports over on Patreon. You guys keep the lights on, the cameras rolling. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. There's a million reasons to get involved in Patreon. You get extra videos, you get access to a podcast, you get access to a private Discord server. We do a bunch of things over there like pin competitions and all that. And we do monthly giveaways. Last month we gave away an Armageddon box set. And this month moving forward, we're going to go on to a little bit more of a kind of geared toward you guys giveaways. So instead of me just picking a random box set and giving it away, we're going to let you guys choose a Spearhead or a Vanguard box set of your choice if you win the competition. So that'll be a little bit more themed towards something that you actually want. So if you want to be in a chance of winning that, all you need to do is be signed up to Patreon at any tier. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in and get this awesome pony painted up. Okay, so this is the beautiful Bill the Pony miniature. I actually own two. This is the newer resin one. I do have the old metal one that came with the Sam miniature feeding him a carrot. Really nice model. And I really need to find an excuse to paint up the vignette of those two as well. Now that I have one Bill the Pony painted though, it's kind of hard to find a reason. But anyway, the model was sprayed black and then grey cere, and then we jumped onto Gore Grunter fur, to give him a nice warm kind of chestnutty brown starting point for his fur. I wanted him to be kind of nice. I wanted him to be poppy. I want to put in a little bit of effort. Bill the Pony does not see the tabletop a lot in this kind of scenarios. The quest for the Ringbearer. He's not even really meant to be in the Bree scenario, even though that's kind of where they pick him up originally in the books. So I'm going to have him included, and I'm going to have Strider with the 4 hobbits and Bill the Pony trying to escape Bree while being hunted by the Ringwraiths, and obviously having Barleyman, Butterby, and the old gatekeeper trying to dissuade the Ringwraiths as well. So yeah, some Agros dunes on some of the leather sections around his bridle and some of the kind of kegs and pouches, and then onto kind of a bright bluey gray color for some of the other pouches. So these are all the bedrolls. So obviously this Bill the Pony is supposed to carry most of people's equipment, so you'll notice that when they're walking Legolas and stuff doesn't have a bedroll on him, Gandalf doesn't have a bedroll on him, Aragorn carries his own, Gimli carries his own, but the rest are all basically strapped to Bill the Pony for part of the journey. So I did put them all the same color, which I think makes a lot of sense. And then we moved over to a nice grey color for some of the kind of backpacks and packaging. You've noticed that a lot of them were like almost like wool knitted backpacks, like Sam's one was like a grey, and I imagine this is Sam's backpack that he has slung across Bill. Seems how he took care of Bill the most. I'm sure he had his gear stored there. Nice dark brown color for all of the little leather straps holding on all of the equipment. And of course, jumping over to a nice lead belcher color for the pots and pans and stuff that is used to cook up all the sausages and juicy bacon and all that kind of jazz that's going to alert the Ringwraiths on weather's hot. But we won't talk about that right now. After that, we are going to shade down the entire miniature. Nuln Oil is a great choice. It's going to darken everything down, put a nice bit of shadow between all the different sections, break apart all the different like components of his kind of equipment and stuff, and give us a really nice base to start layering up, and then, like I said, pulling those colors apart again and brightening them up. I wanted all the kind of details to pop a little bit, so I want to put in a little bit extra. Obviously, there's not a lot of painting to a Bill the Pony, so I get to just have a bit of fun and kind of push itself a little bit with every little pouch and backpack and strap just to make it look awesome. Obviously some dark earth from AK Interactive on the base, and then a dry brush of Rise of Rust and Ushabti Bone on that when it's fully dry will give us our base texture. Then just a simple black color for the rim, and then we can start to layer up. So we started with Scrag Brown. I thinned it down to almost like a glaze consistency, and then I worked up through the musculature of the beautiful pony's hind legs, and obviously the neck and face and all those bits. But I did kind of scratchy technique. It's no like clean brush stroke. With doing it the kind of scratchy technique, almost feathering, it's going to leave behind those little strokes, which will sell a little bit like fur texture, which is really good. We're going to go up to Death Called Brown, do exactly the same step, but much lighter, maybe 40% of what we did the last laid. So we're only going for small amounts of coverage on those sections, leaving very little paint behind. But once again, selling that kind of tight packed fur look across all of Build a Pony. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. Obviously next week is quite a large scale video when we have the Prancing Pony to paint up, which is a very large scenery piece. And you got to give me credit for doing such a large scenery piece for such a small scenario. I'm basically doing the gatehouse of Bree and the Prancing Pony and some road sections and walls and everything just for the singular scenario. So definitely deserves a watch. So please do make sure that you subscribe to the channel, put on that bell notification so you don't miss out on all the future uploads as we work our way through all of the cool scenarios that exist in the Quest for the Ringbearer. As you can see, I've got Hobgrot Hide and then working my way up into Xandru Just for some of the brighter textures, or sorry, Morghast Bone for the brighter textures over on all those kind of leather straps and stuff. And as you can see, it really does make those bits pop out and look really nice. For all the bedrolls, we're going to first start with Rust Grey. And once again, do a nice kind of scratchy layer. This is like a wool texture like the backpack. So you're not looking for, like, it's not silk. You don't need like flat brush strokes with it to make it look super smooth. You want it to be kind of mottled and scratchy and a little bit of the previous color shown through. That's totally fine. We will go up again. We'll go to Fenrisian Grey. And just like all the other tones is where we knock it down by about 40% and go in with some very light touches just to highlight those sections that are going to be getting the most light a little bit more, making those bits stand out. Over to Administratum Grey, and that's where we're going to work on kind of Samwise's backpack, which is, of course, hanging off the edge. And then there's a couple of other pouches, cloth bags and stuff that are hanging on the other side or on the front that you can decide to do the same color as well. I could have broken them up and done them even more colors, but I think there's like 4 or 5 colors already that make up the kind of buckaroo pack that he has on him, and I didn't want to add too many more. The more colors you add, the harder it is to balance them out and make them kind of look like they belong together, similar tones and stuff. So you got to be kind of careful with that. We jumped up to Ulthuan Grey for the final highlight on those grey sections, just to make those bits kind of stand out. Eshin Grey, that's for all of the leather straps holding on all of those kind of bedrolls and packaging and stuff. Just going in with a very small highlight with those. Once again, just to tidy them up and make them pop. And then of course we do have to go back to Leadbelcher to once again re-highlight and tidy up all those little pots and pans, which isn't that many. I think Sam doesn't like to burden Build a Pony too much, so I'm sure he's lugging around a few crock pots and by himself. So it's just the frying pan and the pot that's on him there. And as you can see, just a quick scratchy highlight on that is perfect. You could go with a little bit of like brown texture paste if you want, or brown weathering powder, and put some like burnt end bits in it if you really want to bother. I didn't. I grabbed some grass tufts, some tall grass tufts, took out a few bundles of those and super glued them into place and then kind of cut them down. Then I added my sponge texture, kind of leaf litter ground stuff that I've been using for these Lord of the Rings miniatures to kind of give it that Shire Middle Earth feel. And then I also grabbed a small kind of bushel of pink flowers for the base as well. And with that, we have our finished Build a Pony miniature. Really happy to have finished off the personalities of Bree. And like I said, that is every miniature now ready to rock and roll for the scenario. It's just the Prancing Pony left, and then we can play through it. So I'm very excited to do that.